Hey guys, so I wanted to share an amazing vision I had, uh, and also share a dream that I received from the Lord. Um, I had a vision of the seventh seal that was given to me. I would say maybe a couple months ago. I'm not sure on the exact date, but this was an amazing vision. Very kind of frightening too. Um, I want to go ahead and actually read the passage before I share the vision with you, so you can have a clear understanding and I guess, visual aspect of it before I share my vision with you guys. So, this is Revelation chapter 8, and it says that when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven for about a half hour. And I saw the seven angels who stand before God, and unto them were given seven trumpets. Another angel who had a golden censer came and stood at the altar. He was given much incense to offer with the prayers of all the saints. On the golden altar before the throne, the smoke of the incense, together with the prayers of the saints, went up before God from the angel's hand. Then the angel took the censer, filled it with fire from the altar, and hurled it on the earth. And there came peals of thunder, rumbling flashes of lightning, and an earthquake. So now I want to share the vision I had. So I'm reading this passage, right? And all of a sudden, it happened really quick, but it's weird because when you have a vision, it feels like you're there for a long time, but you're really not. Time kind of works weird when you have visions in reality and out of reality and all that. But what I saw was this. I was standing, I would say, like in front of the throne of God, right? And the throne was directly like this in front of me. And I see the door open. Now, I don't see an angel at all. I don't see anybody coming out, but what I see is I see smoke filled the temple of God, right? The angel opens it. I don't see the angel, but the door opens and smoke, incense is coming out of the tabernacle or the temple of God. And it's coming out, and all I see is incense in the temple floating around. It's heavy with smoke and incense. And all of a sudden I see these blazing eyes, these blazing red, huge red eyes. It was frightening because all you could see at first was the Lord's eyes, and they were pure, like dark red, but they were glowing with fire. But it was like red. It wasn't orange, like orange flames. It was like really dark red, bright eyes, and they were bigger than an average eye. It's really weird. I don't know if his eyes were just the light was coming from his eyes that were super like bright and glowing, or his eyes were just big. I don't really know. All I know, his eyes were pretty big and it was like glowing. And when I saw that, I was in fear. I was scared. And then as the smoke is coming out of the temple, I start seeing the Lord himself, and he's sitting. Oh, okay, let me just show you the way he's sitting, and so you can understand. So he's sitting like this, in a sense, kind of like this, and the smoke is leaving so you can finally see his face. And one thing I noticed about where he was sitting, it wasn't like lit with glory. You know, when people talk about the Lord, they'll say it was, you know, glorious and all that. I didn't see that. It was dark in there. It was pretty dark, and the only light I saw were his eyes flashing red. And he was angry. I have never seen the Lord like this before. I have never seen him like this. So anyways, he had his hands like this, sitting on his throne, right? Like this. And his face was like this, kind of like when like an animal's ready to attack, or like and just imagine a lion. He's a lion of Judah. When a lion's ready to attack, they kind of put their head down, they kind of growl at you, right? But that's the way he was doing. He had his head down like this, like angry, right? And his eyes were just massive, and he was ready to set his judgments on the earth. Let me tell you guys something. I have been attacked demonically before. I have been afraid. I've seen things in the supernatural I was afraid before. But I have never been that terrified before in my life. When I was in his presence, right? When I saw the door open up to his throne, and all I could see is smoke in the temple. I couldn't even see him, but his eyes, but once all the incense left the temple and you can finally see him sitting on the throne and his eyes were glowing, I was petrified. I have never been that scared in my entire life. I wanted to melt in his presence. I wanted to just melt like wax. That's how frightening he was. Jesus, I have never seen him that way before. You know, when the Bible says it is a dreadful thing to be caught in the hands of the Lord, I know what that meant because I felt it. When the trumpets do sound, guys, it's going to be terrifying. It is going to be super, super terrifying for the inhabitants on the earth. But that was the vision. After that, it ended. It was just really quick. I'm standing right in front of him. All I see is the doors open. I see incense in the temple. I don't see the angel come out. I didn't see that. All I saw was just the door open, the angel leaving to throw the incense on the earth, and then the Lord just sitting there waiting for it to happen, kind of like this, with his glowing red eyes. And I was petrified. The way it felt, because he was projecting his nature in that moment, and the way it felt was imagine being in front of a lion, a massive lion that hasn't ate in weeks. He hasn't ate in weeks, and he sees you. Imagine that you're in front of a lion that hasn't ate. That's what it felt like. It was very petrifying. And then that was it. That was the vision I had. So, and this, I think, the seventh seal is after the 144,000 are sealed. I don't know if the 144,000 will be in his presence before that happens. I'm not sure, but that's what I saw. And the dream I had a dream of a tsunami. In the dream, it was a few people, and we were like on the beach. All of a sudden, I remember seeing a wave that looked to me to be anywhere, I would say maybe from minimal 50 stories, 50 to 100 stories high. That's how big this wave was. It was massive. It looked like a wall that was coming. And it was so massive that we had time to actually like get in the car and drive off. But I remember not knowing if we made it or not. Like, I just remember us driving off, and I saw it, and I was telling the people I was with, we have to leave right now. So that was a tsunami dream I had. And I know there's other brothers and sisters that have had this dream. So I mean, I don't know, it wasn't given to me if it was a East Coast or West Coast or where it was really. I just know that it is coming, because this is the second tsunami dream I've actually had. So that was the true dreams or a vision and dream that I did have, and I just wanted to share with you guys what I had saw. So I know that the end is here, the end is coming. As a matter of fact, today I actually saw something on Dabu 7's channel. I saw Chinese nationalists. They're dropping a lot of Chinese nationalists off at our border by the busloads. A whole bunch of Chinese nationalists, and they're all fighting age men. They're not. It isn't women. Excuse me, I can't talk for some reason today. No women and no children. They're all men. They're all fighting age men, and they're dropping them off at the borders in Texas. So this goes back to the dream I had in 2015, where I saw Chinese military on American soil. So it looks like slowly but surely the Lord is basically showing us what a lot of us have dreamed of years ago, and it's happening now. I honestly do believe that we will be invaded. And I remember in the dream when I saw the Chinese military, God had told me that they were already in the country and they were waiting for the signal to attack us or to engage, because we've been sold out, honestly, by our own government. So we've been sold out. When they do get the signal, they will attack. I do believe that we're going to see a cyber attack this year into 2023. I don't know the month. I'm not going to guess the month. I don't want to, because I don't know. All I know is I'm living in the same apartment that I saw 10 years ago, where I saw all the lights shut down. So it could be an inside job where our own government is doing this, and they're playing it off really well, because they're showing you Chinese balloons, they're showing you they're coming up with all these like enemies, yet they're the ones letting them in. So when it does happen, they can just be like, oh, the other nations attacked us, and not us believing it was an inside job. So it's all deflection. And I do believe sooner or later, in my guesstimation, if I had to guess, I would say this summer, by the end of the summer or fall, we could see a lights out scenario. So if you haven't got any food and water, I would do so. But the most important thing is that you are right with the Lord, that you see God in prayer, and just get ready, because it's gonna happen. And it's really crazy. It seems like it's one thing after another lately. So I would just seek the Lord. And if you don't know God, Jesus Christ is King. He is the only Savior of the world. Without him, you don't have any hope. So I pray that you have your security in Jesus Christ, and you stay close to him, because we are in the final seconds before he returns. So God bless, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Okay, bye.